Have you ever wondered how your education and your culture has affected you? Somebody came up with a test of something called divergent thinking, and they found that small children almost all have it. They tested kids who were around 5 years old in kindergarten. 98% scored high in divergent thinking. And by the time those same kids got out of high school, only 2% still had it. So, what happened in between? And we all went through that system, and we don't stop to think what happened to us, how it changed us, how we became different people than we might have been, and frankly, less than. So when you look around at society and the way it's constructed and what not only education is, but what religion is, what work life is, what social life is, there's a huge amount of destructiveness going on. And I would imagine most of it is invisible to us. It's only the most egregious acts, the criminal acts, that we are notice and we're shocked by, and we wonder what's wrong with those people. But the problem is in the way we live our daily lives and in the way we're conditioned as we grow up to enter into society and be a so-called productive member. So it might be a good thing to rethink it. Divergent thinking is basically creative thinking, but it has to access something outside the margins of what is considered acceptable. And we have what's considered acceptable beat into us, and we become intimidated by the idea that we might make a mistake. And actually, making mistakes freely without worrying about it is part of creativity. You try things, and a lot of those things don't work. You you stumble, you fall, you um, embarrass yourself. But here's the thing: what we don't want to be or pretend to be is perfect. We don't want to actually fit in to the system as it is. When you think about the conformity that is necessary to fit into the world, a real human being is not made that way. It's just a hardship. And to condition our children so that they become afraid to paint outside the lines and to have a wrong opinion creates this undercurrent of anger. People are angry because they can't be themselves and they don't even know what their real selves are. They've been kept at a distance from themselves since childhood. And yes, they might fit into society and look like a productive member and do all the right things, but there's an undercurrent of misery, and that is not something you would want for your children. Of course, if you've gone through that process and you don't even know anything else, and you've reached adulthood and you're not one of the 2% that is still creative, you're going to pass that on to your children. You're going to enforce it. You're going to criticize them for being original. And that's how it's passed down the generations. So we have a populace who can't actually have any animal intelligence. They don't really sense when somebody is false. And that is a real problem in a system where we have to choose people to pass laws and to create systems that are just. It's not a good picture. So we are now in the midst of a collapse. It's undeniable. And we have created it. We've made it happen. And after the collapse, we're going to have to create something better. If we're going to actually be successful at that, we're going to have to embody it. We're actually going to have to be creative ourselves. We're going to have to know what we're talking about, what we're recreating. Otherwise, we're going to do the same thing all over again. Making human beings a social product is a crime, actually. It's a wound that we all carry to some extent, having gone through the system. And I, I hope to live to see the transition from the system that I grew up with to something better. And I hope you do too.